All right, so welcome once again. Welcome, Marina, Beach Soul Alchemist. Marina, I have invited you to gain a little bit more insight about mindful living because it's gaining more and more importance in today's world. And you are the soul alchemist. Tell us, what does the soul alchemist do?
Okay, so a soul alchemist. Well, I'm a spiritual intuitive, so I have a spiritual business, and I am a spiritual intuitive in the sense that I can connect with my clients' energy and their guides and support them in the most aligned way for them in terms of them moving forward past their blocks and restrictions and things that really hold them back from their goals. So, as an alchemist, what that means is that I've got a variety of different methods, tools, and things that I can kind of pull from in order to support the client in the most unique and appropriate way. So that's what an alchemist does. An alchemist is about creating change, it's about transformation. So it's taking the status quo, it's taking the client from where they are presently and supporting them with that change and moving them forward. And I always work with the client's intentions and goals because we're all moving forward. We all want to achieve whatever we want to achieve, and I support on a spiritual, on an energetic kind of in that type of way to support the client. So we can be doing all the physical stuff, and we do all the mental, and we have the goals, but sometimes we need the extra insight or the extra energetic healing that really supports where we want to go as well. So that's what I do.
Brilliant. Sounds super exciting. Marina, today I want to focus a little bit more on on intuition. What is intuition according to you, and why is it important in our lives?
Well, it's important because it's an inherent part of who we are at soul level. It's a part of us as a physical human person, but it's the more intuitive side. So most of us spend a lot of time in our heads. We spend a lot of time kind of doing, because that's how we've kind of been conditioned, and that's certainly for me personally, it's kind of how we measure our self-worth in terms of how productive we are, and that's just kind of a societal norm. So our intuition is kind of an aspect of us that over time has been dampened, it has been crushed almost, and that could be through many different reasons: persecution in our past lives. It may be seen as a weakness because we're doing things that don't make sense. They don't have that science connection. They don't have that theory. So, when we kind of put the two together, the mind, it can be quite masculine based as well, whereas intuition is seen as more feminine. And because of the patriarchal, I guess, stuff that's been going on for thousands of years, and the way that females have perhaps been portrayed over that time, intuition has been very much kind of dampened down. So it's great that over the last 20 or 30 years, there's been this huge explosion of, mindfulness and spiritual awareness. And intuition is very much part of that. But the key thing about our intuition is when we start to connect with it and we start to use it in our everyday life, we use it in our business, we're making more aligned decisions to who we are at soul level. And, that will bring a lot of fulfillment. It brings us abundance. It saves time. It saves energy. And it's about coming more from a heart place rather than the head place. And it can be quite challenging to kind of drop into that because our head will always be telling us something different because it's just the way that we've been brought up. So it's about unpicking that, and it's about starting to really kind of come from this space and kind of what we would really want to do versus the head and what we should be doing and what our ego and mind is telling us to do. So it's about kind of having this balance, I suppose, but it's about starting to use this and our intuition, our inner guidance, our inner wisdom. And you know, people are opening up to this, and people are starting to do that more, and you get more, as I say, you get more aligned results from operating from that place than just solely living in the head.
Can intuition be developed?
When you say doubled up, what you mean strengthened?
Developed. Strengthened.
Developed.
Developed, yeah. Basically become more accessible to us, or
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So intuition is like your inner guidance, as I say, it's like your inner GPS system. Um, and you know, some people will actually refer to it as our higher self. So I tend to say higher self rather than intuition, but it's kind of, for me, it's one of the same thing. And it's definitely something that we can develop and strengthen, but it takes practice. So if you think of your intuition as being a muscle, and we have to go to the gym to work out to build up our muscles and to have this kind of mind body connection with, even, you know, with our physical body, our intuition is exactly the same. So it does mean that, you know, we do have to, I suppose, make a mental effort, schedule it in to actually take time to start to develop our intuitive gifts. And once you start to develop your intuitive gifts and you start to trust the messages or the sensations or the synchronicities or the nudges or the hunches, because this is what intuition is, our gut instinct, they will become stronger, and you'll get those hits quicker. But it does take a bit of time and a bit of effort, a bit of dedication at the very beginning to kind of understand that. And also, you will have different ways of connecting to your intuition as well. So some people will physically do it through their body. Some people will be able to hear, you know, their guidance. Some people will just be able to sense it. Some people will be able to visually see it. And this is what we refer to as your clair. There's different types of clairs. So there's clairvoyance that people would understand. And, you know, that's probably the most recognizable, but actually it's not the most common. You've got clairsentience, which is where you kind of sense maybe what's going to happen, or you sense whether something is right or wrong. And you just have that kind of feeling that, you know, you're making the right decision or the wrong decision. Or you can have claircognizance, which is my strongest, and that's a sense of knowing. You just know that what you're saying, like me saying this now, or making a decision, I just know that that is the right decision. And actually, claircognizance is the most common clair that we have. There's also a couple of other ones as well, which are a little bit rarer. There's ones around smell. So some people do smell perfume and cigar smoke and things like that. And there's also one that's to do with taste as well. But I would say the claircognizance and the clairaudient, I'm clairaudient as well, so I do hear. And I think clairsentient is probably the most common, where people can just sense it their bodies, their physical bodies. So you know, for instance, if you go into a room and there's been an argument between two people, but you go in after, you know, the argument is finished, you can feel the tension in the air. Even if you hadn't heard the raised voices, perhaps you can just sense that there is something not right with the energy, and that's clairsentient. So we all have intuition, but we just need to hone it, and that just take practice and giving yourself time to do that.
Thank you for explaining that, Marina. That makes a lot of sense. You have graciously offered to share with our lovely audience today a short healing with intuition for the third eye. Shall we proceed?
Yeah, sorry, you're just breaking up a little bit. I don't think my connection's that stable. So can you just, when you come back on, can you just repeat that? I think it was about the third eye meditation.
Certainly, yes. I would like to try it. I'm very curious, and you've been kind enough to offer it during this session. So I would like to. Okay, Marina, how is our connection?
Okay, I'm back.
You're back. Okay. So moving on to the healing.
Hmm.
I want to use the right word. Short healing with intuition for the third eye.
Hmm.
This is
Okay, yeah,
this
no
is
problem. So,
something that we can just do by ourselves.
yeah, absolutely. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a quick healing around the third eye. So this is really what I'm going to be doing, is just doing a quick clearing. So when you want to maybe practice using your third eye and your intuition to connect to your intuition after this, it will be easier. So I figured that this would be really useful for people to do, and this can be re-listened to, or you might just want to skip the clearing aspect and just connect straight with your intuition. But what I'll do is I'll just do a quick clearing for us all first. So what I would like everybody to do is just to place their feet on the ground. So it's really important that we feel grounded, because when we're connecting with our intuition, we are kind of going into kind of, as I say, the spiritual realms. And the third eye, our intuition, this is the third eye chakra point. And yeah, generally that's where we connect through to our intuition, because it connects with the pineal gland, which is right in the middle of the head. So we tend to use the third eye, and the third eye is very much connected with our inner guidance, our inner wisdom, and being able to see things from a different perspective. So it's being able to disconnect kind of the mental mind and just go with this intuitive kind of way. So if you place your feet on the ground, and if you kind of want to close your eyes, I think usually closing your eyes just kind of blocks out distraction, and it allows us to kind of come within. And that's kind of the purpose of us connecting with our intuition, is to go within. And I just want you to take a deep breath in. And what we're doing here is we're just going to call back our energy from across time and space, people and events. And then take a breath out and just allow your shoulders to drop and just allow everything to relax. And then take another deep breath in. And then just allow everything to melt away as you're relaxing, allowing everything to drop, everything to get heavy. And then just take one more deep breath in. And then just allow that to be released. And what I would like you to do is I would like to just focus at your third eye. So I just want you to bring your awareness to the point between your eyebrows. And I just want you to start to really feel like there's a pressure, like somebody's pressing on the point between your eyebrows. And this, what we're just doing is we're just gently pushing, we're pulsating. We just want to activate the third eye. And I'm just going to call in your spiritual support team. Doesn't matter if you don't know who these are, your guides. And these are just going to support with this activation and with this healing today. So I'm just going to ask your guides just to kind of step forward to hold the space around us. And just start to feel that pressure getting deeper and deeper. And what it's doing is going to start to activate a large purple swirling light. Just start to see that, or sense it, or feel it, or just know that it's there. It's this large purple swirling light. And this large purple swirling light is just getting bigger and bigger. And it gets so big that you can actually physically step through this purple swirling light. And what you'll find yourself in is a purple bubble. This is a purple bubble of energy, and it's just going to cleanse and clear your physical body, your aura, but primarily it's going to be cleansing and clearing the third eye. So I just want you to just stand within this bubble with your eyes closed. And just start to feel this purple energy starting to swirl, starting to move around your physical body. And it's starting from the bottom, around your feet. And it's starting to wind its way up. It's a little bit like a cyclone movement. And it's moving its way up. You can just feel this energy. And with it comes a sense of peace, but also a sense of knowing that you're receiving a beautiful healing, beautiful clearing that's going to bring clarity of thought, clarity of perception, a clarity of connection to your intuition after we've completed this healing. So just allow that circle of energy just to swirl. It's getting higher and higher, higher and higher. And it's now swirling around the face and around your head. And you just started to notice now that this energy, this purple swirling energy, is actually now starting to enter through your third eye. And it's just being drawn into the third eye. And it's starting to kind of go through the third eye, and it's cleansing and clearing everything within your head, everything within your brain. And it's not taking anything away that we don't need. It's just releasing and dissolving any gunk, any debris, anything that we're holding, any limiting beliefs, any perceptions or ideas, stories around us being able to connect with our intuition. It's just dissolving those perceptions, that limiting thinking. So just allow this purple energy just to swirl, to go into all the crevices, all the deep and dark corners of your head, of the third eye, of the pineal gland. And just allow it all to be dissolved and cleared. And you should be able to start to feel clearer in your head. So if you came to this session feeling a little bit confused, a little bit tired, or maybe even stressed, just start to feel, you should be able to start to feel more at peace, more calm within the mind, and have more clarity. Just want you to just allow the last of that energy to go around the head as it settles within all aspects of your body. Now, I just want you to ask a question, something perhaps that you would like the answer about. So it could be to do with a relationship, it could be to do with your business or your health, or maybe just something that you would like more information on. And I just want you to ask your intuition, what guidance can you give me today around this particular subject? And just allow that answer to come forward. Now, this answer might be through a piece of paper that you can visually see with that message on. It might be that you give two options and you just have a sense of which is the right or the wrong one. You might hear the message. So I'm just going to give you a few moments just to really tune in and get the answer to your question. Now I want you to ask if there's any action that you can take once you've had your answer. And this action will be the most aligned action that you can take. So it's going to get you to your goal in a much quicker way. So just allow that, again, that guidance to come through from your intuition. And then when you're ready, we're just going to thank our guides. I just want you to focus back again on the purple swirling light, or sense that purple swirling light that was really, really big that you stepped through. Just see that again before you. And when you're ready, I want you to step back through that purple swirling light. And then start to just feel the chair that you're sat on, or the bed, or the floor. And start to just bring yourself back round. You might want to rub your thighs, have a stretch, rub your feet on the floor. And this is just really helping you to ground your energy back in your body. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And then what is a good thing to do, or a good practice, is to then maybe write down what it is that you found, or what answers, or what guidance you got, and then you can kind of actually act on it. This is a really key part of the kind of using our intuition, is to actually take action on it, because what you're doing is that you're showing that you're trusting yourself with your intuition. And the more that you do that, then the deeper the connection gets, and as I say, the quicker you will get intuitive guidance through.
Marina,
so how did you find that, Kasia?
Absolutely. I really enjoyed it. It gives me the sense of calm and distance, like, the distant perspective, and to getting detached from, like, too much in the eye of a cyclone, just stepping out. And yeah, being ready to receive any guidance or information. So thank you for sharing that. Now, and in this part, we will focus on our divine gifts. What are they? How can we access them? How can we learn more about them? And also, you will be able to learn more about our current programs, what is Marina and myself working and offering at the moment. So, Marina, let's talk about our divine gifts. What are they?
Okay, so divine gifts are pretty much gifts that we all have, that are inherent to how our soul has been created. So it'll be the things that come naturally to us, which probably we don't actually perceive as a gift, because it's something that we will do with even without thinking. However, it's good to kind of recognize what our gifts are, because sometimes when we don't have this recognition, we can be out of alignment. So we have these gifts in order for our soul to express itself through, to kind of enjoy and create and enjoy this life that we're in. But if we are kind of not really using our gifts to the full advantage, then we can actually kind of put ourselves into lack, and we can not be very happy. So it's really important to understand what our gifts are, and making sure that we can bring an aspect of those into our everyday life. So I recognize that there are different types of gifts that we can all have, that we all resonate with. And if you're unsure, then it's always a good thing to actually go and ask friends and family, and just ask them, what do you feel that I'm really good at? What would you come to me with if you were looking for help or support? And that also gives you a good idea. But for the gifts that I see within people, and what I identify when I use their Akashic records, we have 8 main divine gifts, and we're all made up of these particular divine gifts, but usually we're primary in just one of those. And once we get an understanding of what that is, and we start to really more of an aligned life. So I'll just briefly run through what those eight are. So we've got divine gift of compassion. So people with compassion, very much about charity. I really like to work with groups and kind of bring in this kind of tribal energy together. They tend to kind of work in kind of nursing and social kind of professions where they can really support the community as a whole. So that's the divine gift of compassion. Divine gift of creation is very much about creating, being creative, but it's also about, you know, the physical experience and using the physical body as well. So I have a divine gift of creation. That's my primary gift. So you know, financial wealth is kind of quite key for me because it's about building stability, but it's about being creative as well. There's a divine gift of beauty and order, so they very much like order, but they also love being in beautiful, maybe beautiful environments. I think the perfect profession for somebody with a divine gift of beauty is like an interior designer or a fashion designer.
I was just thinking about it, or somebody who works in the art gallery deals with art, right?
Yeah, so a divine gift of beauty, so it's kind of having the beauty nurtures that particular soul, but they need to have a sense of order to it as well because they don't like things to be imbalanced. So we've got a divine gift of love and healing. So they're very much about relationships, but they also are the natural healers. So they have this energy, even if they're not a formal healer, that people would gravitate towards. And they, you know, even if they didn't really have to say anything and just hold the space and listen to people, that would be incredibly healing for somebody else. Then we have a divine gift of communication. And, you know, that's about divine self-expression. It's about them being able to teach and teach from their own experience. So the communication is very, very important for them, whether it's the written or the spoken word. Mm-hmm. Then we have a divine gift of truth. And these are like the kind of spiritual warriors or the whistleblowers of the world. So, you know, they will go into kind of perhaps uncomfortable organizations or situations and discover what the truth is and reveal it to, you know, society. So truth and having an inherent connection with truth is very important for them. Then we've got a divine gift of power. And then these are very much the entrepreneurs of the soul world. And they basically need to be able to do whatever they want to choose. So they need freedom. And, you know, they don't need restrictions and constraints. So they can choose basically what they want, but they've got to have this sense of freedom and power in able to be able to do that. Then you have a divine gift of wisdom. And these souls are inherently kind of connected with the universe and the universal wisdom. But and they're very good coaches, so they hold the space really well. They don't need to say much either, but when they do, they're very concise with their information, and it's usually very profound. So so that's kind of the wisdom souls. So they're the kind of the 8 gifts that we have, and as I say, usually we're kind of primary in one of those. So once you have an understanding of that gift, it's how do you bring that into your everyday life? How do you bring it into your business? And once we're kind of more in alignment with those divine gifts, we are really kind of living a more abundant life. Things feel more in flow.
That's very true. Yeah, and it makes a lot of sense because sometimes we are struggling against that. You know, it's I remember myself. You know, when I was an employee working for organizations, you know, I was constantly fighting for my freedom.
Yeah.
And you know, it makes perfect sense. And now when I'm entrepreneur, it's just like I don't have to fight it anymore. I can just focus on other things.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's why I think it's absolutely important what you do and how you bring into the awareness of people, just sharing this awareness of our gifts. Yeah, it's absolutely important. Okay, so we've spoken about the gifts and their importance and the gaining the information on them from Akashic records. And what else? I just want to double check if I didn't miss out on anything before we share our current offerings and programs. Am I missing anything? Was there anything we were supposed
You
to?
want to
Yeah,
touch
yeah,
on?
yeah, there was. The no, not the divine gifts. The patterns,
Yeah, karmic patterns.
karmic patterns, exactly. Let's talk about karmic patterns. What are they?
Okay, so as you know, as some of you know, and not all of you know, that I work with the Akashic Records. So I'll just briefly explain. The Akashic Records are like a energetic database that hold information around every single soul, and every single soul's choice, consequence, and thoughts and feelings. So there's an awful lot of information held within the Akashic Records, and we are able to access these Akashic Records, with a little bit of guidance and teaching and using our intuition. And the Akashic Records are really good for revealing karmic patterns. However, you don't need the Akashic Records to kind of really notice a karmic pattern. When we say karmic pattern, it just means that it could have, well, it's most likely to have started in a past life, and it's something that you're repeating over and over again. But, we can take that karmic aspect out and just call it a pattern. It's a pattern of behavior or a limiting belief or a story that you keep returning yourself back to, and it keeps coming up. So for some people, it could be, finding yourself in a certain job, and then it kind of, you get to a certain point and then it goes wrong, and something happens, and then you end up stepping away from that job, and then you go for another job, and you'll find that this pattern of behavior just repeats. It could be with relationships. That seems to be one of the most common ones, is I'm attracting the same kind of bloke or same kind of relationship, and that's because there's a pattern of behavior that is probably karmic. It's probably retained in past life, and then you end up stepping away from it. It's not repeating itself now. And the important thing about karmic patterns is that we need to bring awareness to them. So if you can bring a pause or a hesitation to anything that you find that yourself, you repeat on, then once you've brought up that awareness to it, you can start to heal it. So that's basically what a karmic pattern is. It's just something that we have on repeat. It's a rinse and repeat thing, but it's something that we don't want to experience anymore. But sometimes we have to do it over and over again till we get to a point that actually I need to change my behavior around this because I keep getting the same results. Once you kind of have that light bulb moment, you can then really start to monitor what your triggers are, when it comes up, when it happens, and journaling and writing this stuff down tends to really help identify it much quicker than trying to figure it out in your head. And then it's like when you think that it's going to come up, or when it does come up again, then you've got the information there and the awareness to actually, just put that pause in and actually think, well, I'm going to respond in a different way. I'm going to maybe say no instead of yes. I'm going to maybe kind of disconnect or stand up for myself or do something that you haven't done before. Once you do that, and you do that maybe a couple of times, you break the karmic pattern.
Mm-hmm.
So, you don't have to have full awareness around why the karmic pattern was created, what lifetime. It's about just getting awareness, and and once you do that and bring healing to it, and that can be done through literally just putting up boundaries or saying no, or it might be that there's an aspect of forgiveness and you need to forgive yourself, or maybe holding on to some regrets, past mistake where you keep beating yourself up, anything like that. Once you can kind of do something and bring an aspect of healing to it, and when you've let it go and you've got past that karmic block, when you're not triggered and you don't respond in the same way, or you don't feel emotional about it, or there isn't kind of this emotional trigger, then you know that you've actually let that go, and you'll just move on, and and then the next one comes up, because we are kind of working through lots of things that we have to work through, and that's just part of the human experience.
Absolutely, and it's part of growing and developing,
Yeah, absolutely.
and it's wonderful. Um, Perfect, Marina. The way I look at it, because these are just quite alternative methods to, uh, s- s- psychology treatments, psychotherapy treatments, which are effective. However, I think they take much longer than working with those alternative methods. And as you know, I've been curious, and I've been working with them, and they've worked very well for me. Therefore, I highly recommend them to everyone who is curious of just who they are and how they want to function better and live more mindfully, and basically, increase the quality of their lives. So that's why we're meeting here today, because I believe in your methods, and I believe they can really help. So can you share what is your current offer? What I know you're very active and you're doing a lot of wonderful programs. What is the current program you're offering?
Okay, so I've got a really exciting kind of event coming up next week. It's on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. It's a free 3-day event, and it's very much focused for business entrepreneurs, soulpreneurs, heart-led business owners. And we're going to be using the Akashic Records. So it's a 3-day kind of training event around client attraction and increasing client attraction. But you're going to be using your Akashic Record. So you're going to get introduced to your Akashic Record. And I'm going to be sharing, what I do in my business to attract the clients, the things that I've found when working with my clients one-to-one. What is the most common blocks and things that come up? So we're going to focus on a different topic each day. There will be a short meditation, and then there's going to be a Q&A, and there's a supporting document also that goes with that. But essentially, it's about building the foundations, it's about clearing the subconscious blocks back from attracting more business to your business. So that's basically what I've got going on next week. So that's in a Facebook group, and it's running for 3 days. So that's what I'm really, really excited about next week. So it's all about increasing your client attraction.
Marina, congratulations. This is absolutely a hot topic, and I'm sure it's going to be extremely successful. And I'm joining it as well, because I love the way you work, and I just want to expand on my special gift of power. So let's bring this power into action. I just want to briefly mention my own program, which I will be talking a little bit more in details in a separate video. Just taking the advantage that we are live, and we are here together in this wonderful energy. I have created a special offer for people who cannot travel at the moment and are overwhelmed with stress coming from technology, using a lot of social media, being burdened with constant notifications and never-ending inflow of emails, and all those things basically creating a lot of stress and disturbance in our life, which can manifest like in our body. We start to feel maybe a tense neck or maybe a pain in certain part of our body. So this is the way the body communicates with us. So it is called the Radiant Mood and Relaxed Body in 4 days without a holiday or a spa. So you can do it from the comfort of your home. It's going to take 4 days. We're starting on 27th of September up till 30th. And I'm going to be running special promo days. It's going to be on a promo day. The promotion price is $8 only. And I'm going to be offering a lot of tools which I'm normally sharing with my clients and with people who join me on my retreats, so that you can practice them in the comfort of your home. So today is one of the promo days, and I'm going to be doing a special video. So whoever signs up today will get it for $8.
Wow, that's amazing.
So yeah, I hope I'm fully using my power into it. But yeah, the freedom is a big part of my life, and I'm sure it is the same for a lot of us. Last question, because it just came up to my mind. Is there any um, uh, amount of people that you know, let's say, who have particular gifts, or it's distributed evenly? Or
No, I know what you're saying. It's funny. I get batches of clients coming through when I do my one-to-ones. I tend to get quite a lot of power, to be fair. So um, initially, when I started this work, which was a number of years ago now, I had a lot of healers that were the kind of people that were coming through. But now it tends to be a mix between communication and power. They
Mm,
seem to be the gifts that are kind of gravitating towards having, this deeper soul work kind of being done for them. So yeah, they're the two groups. I don't actually tend to see many of my primary gift coming through, which is interesting because we're quite physical, and
yeah,
actually spending too much time with the spiritual realms is actually dysfunctional for people with my primary gift. So we have to make sure that we're definitely physically doing as well, and having this physical human experience and creating. And I do a lot of creative stuff through my posts and the things that I create. So I do still get that aspect in there as well.
absolutely. Marina, how can people reach you? You are Marina Beach on Facebook and Soul Alchemist.
Yeah, so it's Marina Beach Salt Alchemist on Facebook and Instagram. If you want to go to my website, it's just marinabeach.co.uk. And that would be the easiest way for you to connect. But yeah.
Sounds good. Marina, I'm so looking forward for the next week and the client attraction with Akashic Records. It's gonna be awesome. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for joining me this morning, and I hope to see you soon as well. Once again, thank you so much, Marina.
No, thank you very much for having me. It's been lovely.
Thank you. Have a gorgeous day.
You too.